And as we get healthier, and as the kids get older, I kind of wonder, what is my role as a parent, under the theme of parent-driven recovery? I think I know the answer, and I'm trying, but I'm just looking for some feedback, and I'll take my answer off the air.
That's a great question. We want you guys to answer that first.
So the question is, what is your role as a parent-driven recovery when you're past the program? So the great news is if the child is still living in your home, they still need to follow the rules of your home, and there still needs to be consequences. If the child is living outside of their home, they're adulting, they've launched, they're paying their own bills, you're not providing any financial support or roof over their head, then you let go and just enjoy and watch them live their life and show up when you can and have a good time with it. And if that child, unfortunately, a lot of them do go back out and test the waters in their 20s and see if they can use again and get away with it. That is a common thing that happens, and sometimes that I don't think I was necessarily prepared for. Then you need to pick your boundaries around that too. So you can stay as healthy, connected as you can with it, but not enable any destructive behaviors at that point. That's just what it brought up to me.
Yeah, so there's a practical response that's going through my head, which is, well, one, Alyssa is the first of our 3 children. I've still have 2 kids at home, so I got to keep doing this. And because there's, again, as I started, what we learn is that we're here largely through learned behaviors. So continuing to model that. So the practical part is I got to continue to model this because the work isn't done. To that point, I think the work diminishes through recovery to allow us to live our lives with recovery, not recovery being our lives, which was the point I made earlier. So given that, I don't think it ever stops. I think it's how do we stay sharp in what we do know and what got us here, so that, as one of the promises tells us, we don't repeat it, right? We don't resent the past, but we're not here to repeat it either. And so I think it's necessary to keep doing it. To keep sharp with it. The other response to it, I think, is an obligation response. In that, what I've also learned is that what we do here and what we do for ourselves and our family is skills and practices and that is perishable and has a shelf life if we don't maintain it. Meaning, if we aren't here today having these discussions with parents on that road or new parents coming in, what does that mean to the future of what we're trying to do? And so I think we learn through recovery that we're here to get well, but we're here to help others get well, and so there's an obligation to that. Now, that's just my personal. I prescribe to that. I'm personally committed to that. That step 12 is also about paying it forward, and the way we do that is we model the behavior for others.
Yeah, go for it.
I just want to add to, and I don't know, there might be somebody who can relate, but so my son is on his own, and at this point, it's none of my business of what he does in his life unless he makes it my business, and he invites me into his life and wants to share with me or wants some kind of input if he asks me. Otherwise, if I try to peddle in his life, then that's just my controlling behaviors. And so me getting out of his way, letting him make his own decisions is the way he's going to grow. I can't make him grow for him. Also, a different perspective too, like outside of the program, like because I have a spouse that's a qualifier too, where I did get at my breaking point and I just left and got out of his way. Now we're talking about living together again. And so as for me, I still need to maintain the boundaries around me. If I move back into his home, I am very clear of what my boundaries are to maintain a household and live under the same roof with him. And then he's clear with me with what that means for him, you know, what his boundaries are with me. And as we're working on our relationship and healing our relationship. And maybe it'll go well, maybe it won't. But if it, either way, whatever it goes, I know that I have the tools in the recovery, and I can take the responsibility to keep myself healthy and safe, regardless of what my loved ones are deciding to do. And I trust in them, and I know they are capable of doing that for themselves too. So just letting go of that, like, we're on the other side of this. It's really not a parent-driven recovery then once they're out on their own. It's their life.